Boom. Hello and welcome back to Precalculus 1 Exam 1 review. Yay. There's the enthusiasm. Yay. Okay, almost everyone is happy. Good. I have to rephrase that one. So you picked to have the exam, and now I have to, do the review, I guess. The exam is on chapter 1, which deals with basics of functions. So the topics, we said the definition of the function is a must. And you have that statement, my notes and stream, and you also have it in your notebooks if you wrote it down. Make sure you state that the way it's stated. Then we have computing functions. Which deals with, something like f of -5 and so on. We're also going to talk about find the domain. You know that if something is under the radical, you take that something and you set it larger or equal than 0 and you solve the inequality. If you have some kind of a fraction, you solve, right? The denominator equal to 0, you exclude that from the domain and so on. So to find the domain, you know that polynomials have infinite domain from -infinity to +infinity, then combinations and all of that good stuff. We also need to know how to, so computing functions, all of this stuff, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. So now we also want to talk about graphing. Now graphing is a really wide topic because we have all the transformations, but we also have when we have to memorize all of those. Oh, before graphing, oops, sorry, erase. The rate of change. Rate of change. Which was that good old f of b minus f of a divided by b minus a. That was the formula to compute the rate of change. So this is equivalent to a slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where you actually, for these y's, you're using f of x. So rate of change, and generally that's a word problem right there. That was 1.5, I believe. Now we get into graphing. So when you have graphing, you have those transformations, but before you do transformations, you have to know basic graphs. I think, let me just jump to 1.6 real quick. All the way to the top. Yes, there they are. So when you open up your lecture notes from 1.6, all of these are uploaded to Lions Den. You have these basic graphs that you have to know, you have to memorize. 7 of them for now. We are going to add another 2 in this class, and then, another 6 or 12 actually in PreCalc 2, including up on top of those 12, including ellipse and hyperbola, so it's actually 14. Then calculus is going to add more. But these are basic functions. You need to know the constant function, linear function, square root, and quadratic, cubic, 1 over x, and absolute of x. I think all the notes are uploaded, right? How many are uploaded? I have to. Okay, I'll check. I will upload them before I leave the classroom, including this review. So everything will be uploaded. So you must know basic graphs, and I'll say go to 1.6 notes. And now when you know basic functions, you can do the shifts, stretch, reflect. Make sure that you do this first. So if the reflection is part of your transformation package, do that first. That's very important. And do I have anything else for graphing? So you know this is, go 3 units up and 1 unit left and so on. After graphing, we are talking about combinations of functions, and this is the hot topic. So combinations of functions, and this is where we are talking about f plus g or minus f times g, f divided by g with g not 0, f squared, square root of f, absolute value of f, and finally f composed with g. I'm going to put that one in red. It's a function composition. So you have all of these different things that you can enjoy, where the function composition is extremely important, because that one is used over and over and over again. And what else? Inverse function. Generally, we have the calculation. That's the the swap, and then graphing, and then checking. Inverse function with f composed with the inverse. You already told me that you know what that is. And after inverse function, we have the 1.10 word problems. You are focusing on the, I'll call it the airline problem. We did that with trees last time. You are focusing on farmer problems. And comparison problems. That was first. Comparison problem was the cell phone problem, the plans, cell phone plans. But I told you that's, stuff for your insurance, and so you would use the same mathematics to pick the insurance or a better loan or something like that. This is actually the summary of the entire exam. We are talking about 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, and 1.10, 7 sections. But those 7 sections assume the knowledge from algebra, that you can shuffle the expressions around and, put all of that stuff together. Ability to solve equations, ability to solve inequalities, and all of those things. Sounds good? Of course, it's math, right? Sounds good. Has to. Do you have any questions, particular problems that you would like me to solve as a review? You need to give me the problem which is not on the lab. And you need to give me a problem that I am not actually thinking of to put on the test. Oh yeah, figure that one out. Yes?
So I have like an equation, like to figure out if it's a function. So if like the y has a two absolute values on it, like two values, so to make it always have to be positive. So is that going to be a function or not a function?
That's the question in the lab. Did you graph it? Good, graph it. See what happens. See if it passes. Yeah, assign. Yeah, that's what you do. You're going to assign y values, and you're going to calculate x's, and you have x comma y. You're going to put those dots and connect them with a line, and then you will apply the vertical line test, and you're going to go like this. So that's the answer to the question. The question is on the lab. I read labs too, I know. I'm a terrible person. Yes? Well, all the parent graphs you know are functions. I'm not sure what you're asking.
So, like, for example, if it says, if it gives you an actual equation, you have to plug in points to figure out, or if you already know the parent graph of that equation, like minus the transformation.
Oh, you can claim the function there, yes. In general, anytime you see y squared, you know it's not going to be function, right? But with equations that are not y squared, it's tougher. And we'll have that in PreCalc 2 with trig as well. So technically anything that's done to y, most likely it's not a function, but then you can show and prove that through either graph or calculation where you will see that one x produces two different y's. Sorry, one y will produce two different x's, which is not a lot. Any questions? Any problems for me to solve? Function composition, or figuring out the domain, or word problems from chapter 5, word problems from chapter 10. If you have no questions, the lab time is starting in 10, 9, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Wait, question.
Oh, there we go.
Hold on. Okay, I don't know what's like the how to say it, but like, for example, you have parentheses and you have an infinity and you put the u. Do we, like, say we don't write it that way, are we going to lose a point?
Yes. You have to learn how to write proper mathematical notation for the sets for domains. If you are breaking a domain, let's say you have a problem of 1 over x minus 3. You set x minus 3 equal to 0, and you solve that x equals 3, which I can put in quotes as a bad point, because that's where the function explodes.
Okay.
You need to exclude this point. You exclude this point from the, see, this is the actual domain for all numbers. What you are going to do is you are going to do this, which kicks out 3, because these parentheses here, right, this parenthesis excludes 3, and this parenthesis excludes 3.
Okay.
But this includes all the numbers between negative infinity and 3, not including 3. So when we do this plus that, which is the union, right, when you unite things, then that's what you get.
Okay.
So notation must be followed, otherwise doomed.
That honestly kind of gets me a little bit easy.
I guess that's all the questions. Yes?
Oh, never mind.
All good? All right. So that will be then the end of the